Hey, what's up? Malcolm Ivy here, man. I wanted you guys to see this. Check this out right here. You see this? Now, as an armchair politico and a guy who has followed politics since 2008, especially as it applies to prisoners, I was fascinated by seeing that sign because I remember in 2016, before the Clinton-Trump election, which, by the way, was one of the biggest upsets in history. And I believe that was the same year that that LeBron came back on Golden State, down 3-1 and won that. And also, then the Cubs, yeah, that was the year of the Cubs. So, you know, 3 massive upsets that year. But this sign, you know, obviously it's got the InfoWars logo on it, so that's Alex Jones. But I thought that the Hillary for Prisons thing was kind of interesting, because I remember being in prison and seeing where Bill Clinton had got heckled in Philly at a Black Lives Matter rally because of the fact that he was, in the early 90s, you know, he was on board with lock 'em up and throw away the key movement, which, by the way, we're back to that now. And for good reason, man. There's a lot of idiots out here doing a lot of dumb shit. The problem with that is a lot of those idiots are 17 and 18 years old. And some of the other ones are mentally ill, so it's hard to just put everything in one basket. But I know the average taxpayer says, I don't care what they are, kids, mentally ill, lock them up and throw away the key, keep me and my family safe, right? Unfortunately, most of them don't receive life in prison, and I mean, that's unfortunate for those people who think that way, not unfortunate for them. Luckily, they get another shot, and what usually happens is they grow up a little bit. If you're like me, you know, you start reading books, you know, you start writing books. In my case, you become educated, and I think an educated man is much less likely to do harm to his fellow man. The Florida Department of Corrections cites public safety as its #1 priority, #1 thing, yet the Florida Department of Corrections is constantly taking unaffiliated young men coming into prison who promptly join a gang, you know, get a swastika or a 6-pointed star or a 5-pointed crown, whatever their thing is, tattooed on their face, on their neck, on their head, and re-enter society as a full-fledged, sometimes high-ranking gang member. Can you imagine that? So basically what they're doing is churning out that. Now, it's no disrespect to the thousands of gang members I've done time with, but, you know, if you're a parent, you don't want your kid going to prison after making some mistakes and then coming out a gang member. So, yeah, massive fail in my opinion on the prison system. And what does all this mean, and how does it tie into this sign? Well, I think you should be tough on crime, believe it or not, as a criminal who's done a 10-year bid and a 20-year bid. In fact, I think you should be merciless on crime. But here's what I also think. I think once the offender, once the inmate, once the convict is in there, there should be a mechanism where he can earn his way out of prison, or she can earn her way out of prison. Not from some bullshit Trump First Step Act, pay a dude a book of stamps and get, you know, checked off for attending this class. Real rehabilitation. And, you know, it take a lot of money and a lot of effort. And a lot of people would say, why would you spend that kind of money on prisoners? But here's the thing about that. It's not the prisoner that's benefiting, it's society that's benefiting, because when the prisoner comes home, they're kind of like me. They're into criminal justice reform. They're into, you know, helping out at-risk teens. They're into doing some good things and trying to give back to the community, because now we're awake, we're alive, we're conscious. We're not just unconsciously living impulsively, doing drugs, selling drugs, in my case robbing gas stations because you're desperate for drugs. You know, life becomes different. There's such a thing as criminal menopause, man. We age out of the piss and vinegar of our youth, man. So, you know, at age 52, I'm much different than I was at 18 years old, and I'm sure you are too. So back to this sign one more time. Yeah, you know, in the 90s, you know, the Clintons were definitely about the prison industrial complex, and they felt like that was a way to assist some of the communities that voted for them. I think those tides have changed. In fact, they've changed and changed back and changed back again. And I'm sure the pendulum will swing again. Right now, we're on a tough on crime kick. But when that pendulum does swing, you can believe that I'll be right there waiting for it. And this time, we won't have a weak candidate who has a bunch of baggage, you know, when it comes to treating treating prisoners and families of prisoners with respect and maybe giving them a chance. But also, you know, let's not forget, man, there's victims in these crimes too, so that's super important too. But taking all that into consideration and pushing for a criminal justice system that works for every single American, that benefits society when it comes to public safety, but is also not turning out professional prisoners, man. That's all I got on that for today, and I'm wishing y'all momentum. It's raining out here, you see it? All right.